Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. I want to take away the fear that you may have with regards to tax-exempt status and political intervention. No church has ever lost its tax-exempt status for lobbying or for political intervention. The lobbying restriction came into the IRS code in 1934, and no church has ever lost its exemption for supporting or opposing local, state, or federal legislation. In 1954, the political intervention restriction came into the IRS code. It says that churches may not support or oppose candidates for office. That's an absolute prohibition, but again, no church, even for that, has ever lost its tax-exempt status for supporting or opposing a candidate. Let's take a specific example. The church in New York, that particular church opposed then-Governor Bill Clinton for president, taking out full-page ads in the USA Today and Washington Times newspaper and spending tens and tens of thousands of dollars in doing so. Bill Clinton was elected, and the IRS came to that church and said it clearly crossed the line, and it did. But even that church never lost its tax-exempt status for that particular political intervention. Now, beyond what that particular church did and the lack of consequences for doing it, clearly churches can, even within the parameter of the IRS restrictions, address biblical topics. Pastors can preach on any topic at any time, no matter whether this is a political discussion at that moment. You may educate the people on these biblical topics and then explain to the people the candidates' positions on these topics. You can do that by the distribution of voter guides or other means. Candidates may speak at a church. You may acknowledge candidates who are attending your church, and you can have candidates engaged in a forum or debate at your church. You can encourage people to register to vote. You can actually bus them to the polls. Pastors can also lend their name and title and affiliation for or against a candidate on the website of a particular candidate or in a newspaper ad or on a brochure. All you have to do is, along with your name and title, say that the title and affiliation is for identification purposes only. Clearly, you can do a lot with regards to taking positions for or against local, state, or national legislation or laws. And you can also speak specifically with regards to the biblical issues of the day, educate your people, get them registered to vote, and educate them on how these candidates stand on these biblical issues. No church has ever lost its tax-exempt status for engaging in these activities. So if after you hear this, you decide not to address biblical topics and the candidate's position on these topics, and you decide not to engage in this incredibly important discussion, don't blame it on the IRS, because that is your own personal decision for which you will have to be held accountable. Replace the muzzle with a megaphone, preach biblical topics, encourage your people to vote, and make a difference in your community and in our country.